Same thing with the NFL. Be sure you know who's under center. Looks like it's going to be Dylan Gabriel of the Cleveland Browns. I want to say Guardians at that point here. The Pittsburgh Steelers and Aaron Rodgers, a 4.5 to 5.5 point favorite, depending where he's shopping at. Pittsburgh off a bye. Cleveland fresh off coming off a loss overseas. The total listed at 38.5. The Steelers think they're the kings now of the AFC North. What's the spread line here, Joe?
Well, the NFL schedule has wrapped up a absolute gift for the Steelers here, right? They played in Ireland in week 4. They had a bye last week while the Browns were playing the Vikings in London. Now the Browns have to go on the road against a division rival, not to mention that they're going to have a rookie quarterback in his first true road start here. This is going to be all Pittsburgh here. Would not shock me if this number gets a little out of control by the time we get to Sunday.
Let's talk about this next game quickly here on this spread line. The Chargers and the Dolphins. The Chargers are on the road, and they're favored by 4.5 and a total of 43.5. Who's left to play for the Chargers? Just shows you how bad the Dolphins are. What's that quick spread line, Joe?
Well, the bottom line is the Dolphins' defense is bottom 3 in just about every statistical category. So it doesn't make a difference who is playing offensive line. They're not going to get to Justin Herbert, who still has Keenan Allen, Ladd McConkey, Quentin Johnson. They should have no problem carving up Miami here.
Air raid down in South Beach. We'll see how that one turns out. News and notes in the NFL, because why? The NFL never stops here. And by the way, sometimes we could take a look and we get angry at the way we place a wager. I didn't lose any money on the Arizona Cardinals game, but I'm sure a lot of people who had a lot of money in competitions and survivor pools said, how did I lose that game? You didn't even need them to cover the spread, and they lost. Sometimes you want to take your frustration out on a certain player here. Well, how about this video we have coming up here, Joe? Basically taking a look at Jonathan Gannon saying, I apologize, but should he have?
I did tell him, Bob, everybody in there, from the staff to the coaches, the players, to everybody in there, the clock is ticking. Like, it doesn't matter if you're a number 1 overall pick, a Pro Bowl safety, a third-year head coach, a first-year assistant, it doesn't matter. Like, we have to do a better job to close out games.
Joe, if you didn't see the video that they're referring to why he apologized to DeMercado, is because DeMercado had a long touchdown run, dropped the football. Maybe would have been forgotten a little bit more if they had won that football game, but they didn't. But Jonathan got on the sideline, basically threw a gut punch at DeMercado. He was so upset, and I can just feel like the angst of everybody who bet that game probably filtered that energy right into Jonathan Gannon at that moment, said, punch the guy, and he did.
Well, it's so funny because in that video, right, the poor offensive lineman knew it was coming. Like, he's standing next to him, like, trying to be like, listen, dude, you're about to get run over here, but it's going to be okay. No, it's not okay. And you know what it is? It's a direct reflection, and it starts at the top. Would that have ever happened on a Bill Belichick or Parcells-led team? Like, no, it starts at the top because you know those things are unacceptable. Dropping the football without crossing the goal line there's just nothing less excuse. There is nothing you can come up with that excuses that in that moment in any game in the NFL. So as far as I'm concerned, yes, personal responsibility. But the only reason that happened, Donnie, to me, I think it starts at the top. It's an organizational issue.
Like, he busts that long run, slows down at the 10, like he could care less about the guy chasing him down, then drops the football. Like, that's hard to do. Like, I'm not saying you have to run into the end zone and do like a Barry Sanders, hand the ball to the referee in the back of the end zone, but it's pretty simple to be like, yeah, I'm halfway through the end zone. I can drop the football now or spike it at this point. I just never understand the concept of let me drop the football. Why you're even dropping the football anyway at that time? Ended up costing him the game, but so many other things had to go right for the Titans, which actually did go right, and they did it. I'll tell you what didn't go right. The Patriots did get a victory over the Buffalo Bills, which was fantastic, but did lose running back Gibson for the season. Antonio Gibson, talented guy. He's down for the year, so now it's going to put a little bit more emphasis on, hey, Ramondre Stevenson, don't fumble the football, man. We need you.
Yeah, it's amazing. He's another one that just can't. And Vrabel is another one of those guys that you're going to have a hard time relating to that. But now he might not have a choice because it's unfortunate for Gibson. I thought it was a great pickup. I thought the minute the Jets cut him and Vrabel's like, yeah, we got no problem. We'll take him. I was like, all right, this could work out for everybody. But unfortunately, injuries, just timing of everything, Donnie. Next time a guy wants a contract and is willing to hold,
Yeah.
remember situations like this. Get paid when you can get paid, period.
Absolutely. And by the way, getting paid, look at the New England Patriots' upcoming schedule at the Saints, at the Titans, home to the Browns. Could we see the New England Patriots gain those tailwinds that you need to possibly challenge the Bills for this division?
Well, they're still a young team. So the problem is, those games might be easy to lose for them because they can be like, oh, look at us. We're riding high. This is where coaching and Vrabel is going to have to do a hell of a job, Donnie, to make sure that they stay pumped, because this week against this has got letdown written all over it for a young team.
The videos are out, Joe, and I don't mean highlight videos. Mark Sanchez stumbling around the streets of Indianapolis with a couple of stab wounds here. It turns out he could be looking at a sentence between 1 to 6 years for felony battery assault. Mind your own business. Do your job, get paid, live your life. He couldn't do that, Joe.
The ambulance chasing attorneys must have been lined up outside the hospital, Donnie, because the amount of lawsuits that are getting filed right now from the victim are going to be over the top. It went from bad to absolutely worse for Mark Sanchez here in one weekend.
Just trying to figure out the details of what happened. It's just amazing because each one here is more mind-boggling than the other. Like, I thought at first it was, hey, Sanchez rented a car. This guy just blocked him in and goes, hey, pal, beat it. I'm going to be here a while. And there was a fight. That's clearly not what happened here. And Sanchez looks like, allegedly, he's really in the wrong. We'll find out the details as they continue to come out. NFL Lookahead headlines. Why? Money never sleeps in the NFL. Games are on the horizon, and that includes a game on Thursday Night Football from MetLife, the worst stadium in the NFL, which also, I'm going to bring up something fun here, Joe. It's Donnie writes on his show in Erie. How about this headline? The Philadelphia Eagles, coming into this game, they have a couple guys banged up. Landon Dickerson leaves the game every single week, seemingly with some back injury / knee injury / ankle injury. He got injured in that Broncos game. Nick Sirianni talked about that yesterday. Before I get there, Saquon Barkley also, they didn't have practice yesterday, but there's always an estimated practice report on a short week that goes, if we did practice, would these guys have practiced? And Saquon Barkley wasn't going to practice yesterday with a knee injury. I saw him take a shot in that game against the Denver Broncos. Got up a little bit slow, but still finished the game. But Nick Sirianni said this, Joe. We have to understand, making the best decision for these guys, which includes the horrible turf at MetLife Stadium, which on a short week is never a good sign. The Eagles are favorite at 7.5 points on the road on a short week and 41.5. The Eagles are the better football team. There's no question about it. But the Philadelphia Eagles didn't play that well against the Broncos, expected to bounce back. But this is just an indictment of, I guess, how bad we think the Giants are. Got blasted by New Orleans. Sometimes these lines, I go, I don't know if I like that, but I guess it does make sense.
Yeah, well, the line makes sense. I mean, how many 5 straight possessions, I think, had to set a record somewhere in which they turned the ball over to Giants, which is, this will be growing pains. You want to start a rookie quarterback. You waited till week 5 to do it. Well, guess what? There are going to be growing pains, especially with a team that doesn't have exactly a ton of talent. But in the meantime, Philly's got some things to figure out here. And I don't know that I would ever look to Philly much beyond the first half of any game, Donnie, because that seems to be where they're the best. And then they haven't figured out what to do. I mean, they blew another 17-3 lead in the second half against Denver, and that seems to be a theme this year. So while I agree with the line, I think all the value with Philadelphia is bet them early, because I don't know what you're going to get in the second half anymore with this team.
Look, if I look at prop bets in this game, which I haven't looked at yet, just give me the chicken with his head cut off, otherwise known as Jackson Dart. He's probably going to run 16 times in this game. And also Cam Scatterbo, he'll get at least 20 touches in this game. That's the way I would look, because I know those two guys are going to get high usage rates in this game. I'll tell you who has a high usage rate here. Baltimore's offense, not. They were terrible last week against Houston. Now come to town the Rams, who are also, Joe, 7.5-point favorites here on the road at Baltimore. We know, Joe, it's a week-to-week league. But I got to tell you, looking at the Ravens' defense and then coupled with their new-look offense without Lamar Jackson, is anybody rushing to the window saying, now's the week that Baltimore rises up at home? Not me.
No, I mean, listen, we just watched the Rams lose to a completely depleted 49ers team the same
It's
way.
true.
And now they've
Extra
got a little
time.
bit of extra rest here, but
Yeah.
they've got to fly across the country. To me, Donnie, this is shaping up to be, because I think the money will continue to come in on the Rams. But, once again, unfortunately, the value is on Baltimore here. And I think nobody's going to run to the window
Man.
to take the points with Baltimore, but that would be the only look here, dog or pass.
Like they were, it's one thing, Joe, like, hey, you know what? Lamar is out. We lost 17-14 to Houston. It is what it is. We're not used to seeing Baltimore get embarrassed. I don't care who's playing. Like they won games with Snoop Huntley at quarterback. Like, it's almost like they're just autonomous. Like, doesn't matter. Next man up, it's the Baltimore way. Their entire defense was bad starting the season, and it got injured, so now it's even worse. And it's not like we could just hand off to Derrick Henry and everything's going to be okay. They tried that last week, and it didn't work at all. I'm interested to see where this line moves this week. And also, if any healthy bodies are coming back for the Baltimore Ravens on defense, we'll check in on that. 425 start Tampa Bay, who's been so much fun to watch. One-score game, swashbuckling quarterback in Baker Mayfield. They're going to get a punch this week from the San Francisco 49ers. And also, TBD is listed at quarterback for the Niners. Are you rolling Mac in this game, Joe?
No, he's just as hurt now, I think, as Purdy. So not great. I would still rather Purdy be under center. But to me, with them, the question is, are you getting any of those receivers back? Is Jennings coming back here, right? Are they going to have anybody they can throw it? Yeah, Kittle, how far is he away? Ayuk, how far is he away? Like, I know reinforcements are coming for the 49ers, but as long as you have McCaffrey, and that defense showed me something against the Rams there, but having to travel, listen, it's not like Tampa doesn't have to travel. They were all the way out in Seattle, have to come home now and get ready for this 49ers team who has some extra rest. So I don't love the spot for Tampa at all here.
I feel like an over. Like, I just feel like Tampa Bay is destined for an over every week because that's just the way it is. And Kyle Shanahan, you showed me some. I always talk about him being one of the best play callers I've ever seen. He showed me a lot. Mac Jones and nobody on offense able to move the football against the Rams. Loved what I saw. How about Sunday Night Football? I love this game, Joe. A 50.5 total. A slight favorite to Kansas City. Detroit on the road to take on the Chiefs. Early weather reports, which is always key for that dome team. 76, 77 degrees, light wind, no real precipitation in the forecast. You take a look at this game, so much is on the line for Kansas City. We know Detroit's going to move the football. Under in this game, if you're betting it, you better bet it, set it, forget it, and shut your TV off. You're not going to want to watch this one. Sweat that out.
Well, it opened up 48.5, Donnie, and now we're at 50.5. So I don't think the under is in anybody's mind here. And who can blame him? After what I saw last night from Kansas City, there is absolutely no way I'd be sweating out an under, especially with Kansas City at home off a loss. Yes, it's a short week, but my goodness, that offense is humming along. If they can clean up the penalties, which I believe we all understand they will, this could be the track meet of all track meets.
And you know what's the funny part about this, too, is Kansas City was so good on offense, and that was with a sort of hobbled Worthy. Maybe just gets healthy this week and they're full gas and still waiting on Rashee Rice to come back. It's a fun team to watch. They might be getting back to those old Chiefs ways that we loved. Quicker scores make for more fun games and more wins for the Kansas City Chiefs. But if I'm looking at this entire slate, I can't wait for Sunday night to take place between Detroit and Kansas City. It should be an absolute fantastic one.